All right, friends, you may not appreciate that I have Christmas music on, but I need to get ready for market, and my market is going to feature stuff for Christmas. So, let me make sure I'm not showing you. You know what I need to do is I want to show you this. I keep wanting to call it a recipe. It's a pattern. Chibbey Wee Crochet slipper pattern. See that? Okay, and so this is the finished product here. Let me see. Yes, beauty. Look at that. Slippers. Now I want to share with you my beautiful stitch counter. Here it is. See that? Post-it note. I did row 5, now I'm on row 6. My pen. All right, so I am making slippers. This is going to be acrylic and wool yarn that I'm using. I'm using lava cakes, and this color is sour cherry. Sour cherry lava cakes. I don't know how they get sour cherry out of lava, but sorry, I need to not whistle. It's kind of shrill. So each night I try to take turmeric because I feel like I have arthritis in my hands. So if I make sure to drink my fluids and take turmeric, then my hands do not hurt when I wake up. Whoop. So far this yarn has been really nice to use. I actually need to do some content promoting this because I love it. I lava it. The lava cakes yarn. So my daughter set up my workstation so that I can stream on Twitch a lot easier. But it's my workstation where when I get employed, I'll be using that area, which it's actually fine. I can also just stream from here for Twitch, but at the other workstation, I have my Switch hooked up, so then I can stream Animal Crossing or whatever game I'm playing. I am definitely not a high caliber, high ranking esports participant, so let me show you again. This pattern is pretty easy to make. You can always buy slippers through me, but if you're interested in making the slippers, this is the creator of the pattern, Chibbey Wee, and her name is Kimberly, and she is live very often right now because she also is getting ready for markets. And this is a paid pattern, so I'm not going to be walking through the steps and stuff. I'm just going to be working. drop a comment if the music is too loud. Sometimes when I'm watching creators, they might not realize and their music is really loud. But then also it could have to do with the proximity of the music speaker to the speaker of the phone. So I'm closer to the phone, so it might pick up my voice stronger than it picks up the music. But if you want some slippers, you can contact me. Link in bio. It has a link to everything, so you should be able to get to me somehow or another. We can work it out. And this yarn is actually a blend, so I'm going to make sure and tag it when I finish, and then that way I'll know the fabric blend, because I don't want somebody that's allergic to wool to get the slippers, and then I'll make a more professional label with the fabric content and care instructions. Okay, what happened now? Did it stop? I just tried to skip the commercial. Oh, there we go. Just had a little gap. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, wow, that was a drastic color change. Look at that, right to that dark burgundy. So I'm going to try to do my tally marks. I didn't set up my Amazon wish list yet, or I would have a stitch counter in there. I need to also get some recommendations for that. I really love to watch other people create, and then I look at their list of products that they use, because I know they're tried and tested. And then also I can see it in action. So it might work for one creator, but it doesn't work for somebody else. I'm left-handed, and that's usually not an issue, but sometimes items are not ambidextrous. So this is funny. I got this pattern. I love it. I've worked up a few pairs, but when I first did my first pair, I was thinking I did something wrong, because it really is like the first right side, left side specific pattern that I've worked on. So when I did the left slipper, it was backwards. And I only knew it was backwards because the instructions specifically say this is for the left slipper. And then I realized it's because as a left-handed crocheter following a right-handed pattern, I'm crocheting in the opposite direction. So my stitches are going left to right and yours are going right to left. So when I'm doing the directions according to the pattern, the chain is fine, all that is fine. But then as I'm doing my stitches, I'm going from left to right. So the finished product turns out opposite, which on a blanket you don't notice, obviously. But on a pair of slippers, it's noticeable. And I'll show you why. Because there's a little... I have little thread bits too, because I was working on another project. It has a shape for your toes. So this is where your big toe would be, and this is where your little toe is, and the side of your foot. Funny, huh? Oh, thank you, Lonnie. Yay! Yay, Lefty. Oh, Navy Brat. Yeah, I think, and it's awesome that you remind me, because I forget. I recognize people's names, but I don't remember, if they're right-handed, left-handed. So that's cool that you're left-handed, but you crochet right-handed. My dad was left-handed and he taught me. So that's why I crochet left-handed. So I feel lucky because I am very, very dominant with my left hand. There's very few things that I do with my right hand. I can use my right hand. Obviously, I'm using it for the yarn, but there's many, many tasks that are much easier for me with my left hand. But I did notice I use the TV remote more easily in my right hand. I need to study more about the function of the brain. I think that's really interesting aspect of left and right-handed, and something that I've noticed, and I've asked other left-handed people if they have problems giving directions, meaning when you're riding in a car before GPS, or maybe you're riding with somebody that's not using GPS, and they are relying on you to tell them, turn left, turn right, go here, go there. Inevitably, if I'm giving the directions, I'm pointing, because if I say it, I will say the wrong direction. I'll point left and say, go right. And then the person looks at me, unless they know me, like they know that that's an issue. They'll know, go the direction that she's pointing. Don't go the direction that her mouth is saying. Oh, you tried your left. It did not work. Oh, wow, that's crazy, Lonnie. Yeah, it might be because I grew up with my dad left-handed. My dad was left-handed. I have 4 siblings that are right-handed, and my mom is right-handed. So, it wasn't that I needed to pick one or the other. I had an example of somebody as a right-handed person, and it used to be common that they would try to make you switch your dominant hand at school. I mean, in crafts and stuff, they're never going to notice, but if you're writing, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this pattern is super, super nice. I found it from another creator online. Her name, the site is Chibbey Wee Crochet. Her name is Kim, and I love this pattern. You can see the finished slippers here. And they're so you use one pattern, and then you just do a certain number of rows to create the size. If you needed something, like if somebody has a really wide foot, then you would need to do it more custom. But it's pretty forgiving. And I had my son try on a pair. So what I did is I made a pair. I wanted it to be for men. I told him put on socks so he could try it on. And then he's a size 10, and it fit him perfectly. And each pair of slippers will fit a range. So I'll make a size and I'll call it a 7, but the range will actually be 6, 7, 8. Oops. Ooh, I actually love Christmas songs. I think because when I was a kid, my mom would always, as it's coming up towards this season, she would try to just create this awesome experience. We didn't have a lot of money, so she would be creating things for us for Christmas. Dad may or may not be home for Christmas because he was in the Navy. We had at least one Christmas in July, tree, presents, decorations, lights on the house, everything. So I think I just have like a really positive vibes in my brain for Christmas. I don't know what this song is. That doesn't sound like Christmas. It's probably a commercial. Oh yeah, it is. How funny. Yeah, so just whipping up these slippers. I'm really trying to make as many pairs as I can for my market, at least to have a good representation. And then also I'll be advertising my website at the market, so that way people know, they can reach out to me. I also create things using my sewing machine and my embroidery machine. Today I had in my mind that I was going to do stuff on the embroidery machine, but I got busy with some other stuff, looking for a job. I went to exercise, and then I just thought, no, I'm not going to. I have a dedicated space, but I also need to use part of a shared space to spread out my thread, my hoops, and all that stuff. So I thought I'm just going to go to my main craft area and do these slippers. I have a bunch of yarn so that I got specifically for this project because I wanted to have a bunch of different but look how fast that works up. Isn't that nice? Oh, they switched you, little Bitsy. Dang it. So you know what I noticed? I think one of my aunts was switched, and her penmanship is not that great. So I think that is one of the challenges, because your brain really does function differently. So, I just thought of something. This variegated little cake I'm going to use for both slippers. They're probably going to look drastically different because it is variegated. Let me show you the others that I finished. Oops. So what I do is just tie them together until I make the wrap that's going to hold them together, and the wrap will have my business name, the size, and then the care instructions. What the heck is this? Oh, I think my goodness, see, quality control. That's just going to get tucked in there. What I really like too is I'm not doing color changes, so these will be nice and smooth on the bottom. So there, I have gray. I have another pair of gray. I have these, which these are called, it's a boysenberry colored yarn. I have red. Oh, here's an example of how I'll mark the slippers. And then I have these. I love that. I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. And this is the way it comes. It's already twisted like that. So there's that. And then the next ones I do after this are going to be a deep, deep red. It's almost like a brick red, but it's called cherry. So the other red I did was Karen 1 pound, and the cherry that I'm going to use next is Pound of Love, and that cherry is darker. It has like a little touch of black in it, if that makes sense. My husband was a house painter, so all these different shades kind of, like, in my mind, equate to a base with a little white or a little black, so that's how it gets a little bit of a variation. Some of the other things I'm working on, I'm making pillow wreaths. They're super adorable. I got inspired to do those by my sister. She gifted us each a pillow wreath last year as a gift, probably end of November, early December, so that we could use it in our home decor. She's a quilter, and she made them up for us, and then I got the idea too, and I said I'm going to make those for my craft fairs. And let me grab one and show you. Oh, this is actually the one she gave me. So you can see it has these little pillows. And then they're tied on with different color ribbons. And then they just have a hanger on the back. Oop. And some of these pillows need to be rearranged. They do have a tendency to move around on the wire frame. I tied mine on really tight, so hopefully they won't shift. But it's not a big deal because you just swing it back around into the spot. So some of mine are going to be Grinch theme and the others are going to be, I have one that has llamas and it's fa la 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 llama. And I have one that is snowmen and snowflakes. Then I have a couple that are more classic. And then I have the Grinch theme. And I do have those listed in my shop because it's easy for me to manage my inventory when I'm at the market. So even if I sell it at the market, I can easily manage the inventory rather than just how I used to do it before my website. I would have to take the listing down and then put it back up. I think maybe that was just my inexperience because I did use Etsy, but I was constantly getting myself confused about what's available, what's sold, what's going to market, you know. But if you want a pair of slippers and you do not want to make them or you cannot make them, then just let me know. We can work something out and I can do a commission slippers. So one thing, whenever you're buying a pattern, make sure that you ask the creator, if it's not specified on the pattern, if you have permission to make items and sell items using that pattern. I try to stay away from any that say that I can't, only because I won't remember and I don't want to be perceived as disrespecting the creator's wishes. I've only run into one situation where the person who created the pattern said no, I couldn't make and sell. And I already had the pattern, so I just dealt with it. It's simple to use it only for family and friends. But the reason being that she creates and sells the finished item as well. But even some other creators who do that, they do allow you to use their pattern to make and sell, as long as you're not doing it in mass production, you know. One thing to recognize is these are handcrafted items, so each and every single one of them is going to be different. No matter how closely you follow the pattern, it's still going to be a little different. You know, you're going to have one stitch a little tighter, one stitch a little looser. So, oh, I got these online. They're just plastic feet. So there's some that are very lightweight, and it's like you would put into children's shoes, and they're very flimsy. I didn't opt to get those because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this on display to show how the slipper looks, and the rest of them I'm going to have wrapped and marked with the size and the care instructions. And you know our favorite vendor where we always get everything from. Sorry, I'm just getting a sip of coffee. Got about 40 more minutes. And then I'm on to my next project. So I should finish at least this one. Maybe get the next one started, depending on how much I distract myself. Well, I was marking how many rows I did, but I forgot to mark it, and I'm quite a bit farther than 7. All right. I do happen to get a little bit of tendonitis in my elbow too, so that's not fun. Oh my gosh, yes. So the whips, start something else. Because what happens, I get online, I watch these other creators because I want to support other creators. I see a pattern, I buy the pattern, and then I'm so excited to try it that I just instantly put down whatever I'm working on. So what I'm trying to do right now is be more focused because I can't take whips to the craft fair, right? So before I started on the slipper pattern, I told myself I needed to do 5 of the wreaths, and I finished a market bag. I added the handles to the market bag, and I finished a granny square blanket. So I did all that, and then I started on the slippers, and then I never went back to, well, I did do some wreaths on live, and so I might do that again tonight. And it takes a while, but it really is fun. I love the wreaths. And I really I'm trying to get my name out there because I am looking for a job right now. I will need to have a full-time job or several part-time jobs to add income streams because I work in the mortgage industry typically, and it seems like everybody and their mother is getting laid off. And I have friends hitting me up now and then, hey, I just got laid off. Have you heard of anything? So I'm keeping my eye open for myself, but also for my friends and former colleagues, because I think with networking, we'll each be able to land somewhere new, even if it's not in mortgage, but doing something to utilize all the skills we have. So if you're looking for somebody with a mortgage background, check me out on LinkedIn. I don't have that link in my bio yet, but you can always message me and I will let you know what that is. I mean, I've been laid off since July 6th, which I say a layoff, but to me, a layoff insinuates some sort of severance package or that your employer actually cared about you. But our employer closed suddenly, did not pay us our last 3 weeks of wages, left us high and dry on what was next, actually retroactively canceled our insurance coverage back to May 1st, even though the premiums had been taken out of our checks. And so then in August, the end of August, we get a message saying, oh, we're trying to work with the carrier to reinstate your insurance. And I'm just going to be blunt, but this is adult language. That's bullshit. You're trying to keep yourself from going to prison or something. You already done us dirty. And, it's, yeah. So there's lawsuits, there's wage claims with different states because I was remote and the company was based in New York. So, yeah, all the legal aspects of it are trying to be handled, excuse me, because your employer, I work in California, your employer isn't allowed to just not pay you. Pretty sure that's every state. Yeah, so here I am. Oh, amigurumi, that sounds so cute. Oh my gosh, a skull granny cardigan. See? Well, another thing is, I would go to Michael's and then accidentally find yarn on sale. So my stash of yarn is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now I have to, is that 5 or is that 6? I think it's 5. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, let me move this stitch marker. Now, because I know, oh, actually, I'm not going to move it. I'm going to grab a new one. Because I know how the pattern works, I'm going to shift this a little bit to the left. And I'm going to start my count there. 4. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Don't you love when you count like 1,000 times because you think you counted wrong and then it's always the same? Oh God. Honestly, this is the one Christmas song I cannot stand. It's the worst. Oh yeah, Patty, exactly. But I don't need to get more yarn. Thank you for the follow. Sometimes the ones around me, I get nervous that they're like scams because there was this one guy, week after week after week, he has giant lots of yarn for sale, but it's not like, well, it is cheaper, but it's not like, oh, take it all for $25. It's every single skein is $1, which it's still cheap, but initially in the photo you can't really tell like what brand is it, how old is it, is it eaten by the moths, you know? But I also sew and have an embroidery machine, so I am a textile hoarder with yarn and fabric. And then a friend of mine, her mom was getting rid of some stuff because she has to sell a house for her family member. And when I went to pick up actually it was a gift bag. I went to pick up a gift bag that I had left at a party. And then she's like, hey, can you use this? All this awesome fabric. And I'm thinking in my head, well, you don't really need to have more stash. But I said, yes. And I put it in my car. 11, 12, 21. Okay, take that out. Yeah, so then when I got home, I took a closer look. I knew that it was good quality fabric, but there's actual yardage in there. It's not just like, a quarter yard here, a quarter yard there. It's 2, 3 yards. I'm like, oh my gosh, score. So then I think, wow, I really need to get myself organized with my items that I'm going to be offering at the craft market so that I can maximize. Because, I mean, your ROI when you have free fabric, it's like zero, You invest your time, but minimal investment in materials. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, Patty. So you can see on this slipper, everything is just integrated. So you go right from creating the toe into doing the heel. And I mean, not the heel, the body of the slipper. And then that portion is how you determine how big the slipper is going to be, like for whatever size. And then you can do it by row count, or you could do it by measuring. So you can see I'm just moving right into the sides, and then eventually it ends up looking like this because you have a finishing stitch. But again, let me show you the pattern because this is a really nice pattern. It takes time, but it's easy to follow. It turns out a very nice slipper. And if you're interested in slippers but you don't want to make them, then you can always message me and we can work something out and I can make something for you on a commission type basis. And then I just do prepay for any commission work. My markets are October 15th and I believe November 19th. If those are both Saturday or Sunday, the 19th one is the one I'm getting confused at. I can't remember if it's a Saturday or a Sunday. I think it's a Saturday. And then now this is transitioning to like a raspberry color. You can see that change right there. Nice thing about these too is they have a little bit of gapping between the stitches so that if your feet are typically warm, then you'll still be able to wear these because they're going to be able to breathe. Sometimes I don't wear slippers because my feet get so hot, but these would be nice because your feet can breathe. Thank you for the likes. I think I'm going to hit a new record. If you guys keep sending over the likes, I might break 100. Whoa, 1.4. Wow. I wasn't even looking. Usually I'm like below 100 or 200. One time I was over here streaming, it was just me. It's okay. I still needed to work on the slippers, so I might be back on later tonight working on the wreaths. No guarantees because you never know what can come up. I have one idea and my family has another. Right, see that? Look at that. Coming right along. I do have other posts about this pattern too. So if you're interested in the pattern, it is not one that I have, but it is a paid pattern and you can get it from Chibbey Wee Crochet. The other day she popped in and I was talking about a mistake I made and I didn't go back and fix it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're so fun to make. and all the different colors of yarn I have. Woo, I'm so excited. This one is a Karen lava cake, and it's a 80-20, 80 acrylic, 20% wool. So these will be a little bit warmer, I think. And I'll have to interpret the care instructions because it has, oh, it says hand wash, lay flat to dry. So I will let the customer know that, and then they can proceed accordingly. Sometimes I machine wash my things that are wool blend and then hang to dry or lay flat to dry. It seems like these might be okay to hang to dry just because they're so, it's a small item. It's not like a sweater that's going to get really stretched out from the weight of it being wet. And then it would form back to the appropriate shape when you have it on your foot. But I will let the customer decide that. Oh, no news on the job hunt. I've put in a few applications. I've had a few conversations, but no job offers yet. There was one company that did like an open house. So they had an open house. They talked about the different roles that they would be hiring for. They talked about the fact that they would be hiring 250 people over the next 6 months. And they said there was over 900 people on that call. And then after the call, they sent out emails and they had the roles listed on the email so you could select which role you thought you would be interested in. And then they send you to a website that has an assessment. So then you have to take a test that is specific to the role. I mean, I think I did pretty good, but that's like weeding out the riffraff right away. I mean, it's kind of efficient if you ask me. Oh, and then part of it, you had to do a video response. There were 2 different questions that you had to record a video of yourself answering the questions. Okay, let me count this and see. I didn't even turn on my lights. My gosh, let's see if that makes a difference. Does it? Sometimes I have little extra fibers from other projects and it gets crocheted in here. See that? That looks weird. Maybe it's just this because it has wool in it. Oh yeah, it looks like it is. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to compare this to another pair. See how it looks. Yeah, that should be a good length. Oh, this I don't need anymore. And then we integrate the heel right into the slipper. I was thinking I might do kind of my own freehand type of pattern that's more of a slip-on slipper, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll stay on to finish this one slipper, and then whoops, I'll probably get off, at least start the other slipper, and then I'll be ready for my next event. My husband will be coming home from work, and we're gonna go grab some Taco Tuesday. Whoops. Okay. Now this part is a little tricky. You want to be nice and neat so you have a nice finished edge, but sometimes finding the yarn is tricky. You know, one year I actually made figgy pudding. It's more like a very dense cake. Takes a lot of prep of those figs too. Oh, let me put this marker so that when I get around, so I think the estimate is that you should be able to finish a pair of slippers in about an hour and a half. I'm not that fast. Yeah, Debbie, that was kind of intense for that job application, but I guess it's good because I feel confident with my responses. I think I maybe messed up on 2 questions. I don't remember exactly how many questions, but there were 3 segments and they were 8, 10, and 12 questions, I think. And then the 2 video questions for the video response. So the question was written and then you had to give a response. Something simple like what unique characteristics make you a good fit? It's like So if you do not want to be on camera, or you get intimidated, or you can't talk about yourself, or whatever the challenge might be, then you might be out of the running. I believe they did have information on if you needed accommodations to complete the application, then to let them know, because they can't just automatically not include you just because you have the challenge of needing accommodations, if that makes sense. Right now we just need one finishing stitch after this round, and then this slipper is complete. All right, people, where is this other stranded yarn? Oh no, that's good. So you can see I followed the left slipper directions, but this is a right slipper because it's lefty. So then when I do the next one, it'll be the right slipper directions, but it'll turn out to be the left slipper. And then as I'm going along, I'll do a comparison of the 2 next to each other so that I have the same size. That way, if I miscounted the rows, then I can make sure that it's the finish size matches for the 2 in the pair. These little extra fibers on this yarn are throwing me off because I keep thinking it's something that shouldn't be there. I'm resisting plucking it out. Majority of these songs, they're not really, like, it sings about winter, snow, stuff like that. Well, jingle bells. We equate that with Christmas, but it doesn't necessarily mean Christmas. It's just the bells jingling on the horse, right? Not equate, attribute. We attribute that to Christmas. This finishing stitch just helps it keep its shape so that when the customer is putting it on and off, it's not stretching out the neck of the slipper where you put your foot in. See that? Coming up to the end right here. Just a couple more stitches. Oops, almost did it wrong. Yeah, sleigh ride bells. You can ride a sleigh anytime. Doesn't have to be Christmas. All right, and then I'm just going to do a chain 2, and then whoop, and then I'm going to go back in here in the toe. See if I need to trim that off. Oh, either I already trimmed it or it got worked in really nicely. Oh my gosh, these little threads are driving me nuts, and it's my own fault. There we go. There's a slipper. Then we can take out these stitch markers. Keep this one handy because I'm going to use it to compare when I do the other one. There you go. If you want slippers, you can make them yourself with Chibbey Wee Crochet pattern, or you can contact me on my website. Yeah, communication skills. That's true, Debbie. So I felt pretty confident about all my answers overall, but sometimes I'm not sure if it's confidence because I think I got them correct or I got them wrong and have no clue. I mean, we'll see. It's all questions related to the job I was trying for, so it makes sense. I feel like there were 2 that I got wrong. But, all right, so that's going to wrap it up for now. Maybe I'll come back on later tonight. I do want to. It's just a matter of what's going on with my family later today and what kind of plans everybody has. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, Debbie. You guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me.